What is up, everyone? What is going on? What is the weather like where you're from? I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. So this week we got some gameplay for Spider-Man 2, which I'm super excited to talk about because I have not talked about Spider-Man 2 on the channel yet. So that's going to be awesome. The more stuff we get to see for that game and getting to talk about it and, theorizing and probably going to play it on the channel. So I'm very excited. I don't have a PS5 yet, but I'm getting, seeing the new PlayStation show. I was kind of like, I should probably get a PS5. But so with that, if you guys want to support the channel, click the subscribe down below if you guys are new. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below on this gameplay trailer. It looked really fun. It looked really cool. But I'm going to talk about it in depth here in a second. But comment down below your guys' thoughts. I love talking to you guys. I love building this community for the channel and just building a healthy gaming and comic book community. And if you guys like what I have to say, you guys can like the video. It shows the channel support. If you guys really want to support the channel, I do have a Patreon link down below. Everything from that Patreon goes straight back into the channel, whether it be things like a PS5 since the channel doesn't have one, or a new microphone since mine is kind of just very simple, new editing software, stuff like that. But other than that, let's get into the video. So first off, this Spider-Man 2 gameplay looked fucking epic. I am super excited for this one. It looks like there's going to be a lot of interesting ways to move around, a lot of different finishers for the bad guys. One thing I'm super excited about is getting to see, Spider-Man kind of not hold back for a moment. We seen in this trailer, he's messing people up a lot more than he did in the first one. I remember in the first one, the developers were talking, they wanted to make sure that Peter never killed anyone when you're fighting in combat. They would always be like stuck to a wall, or they would get caught in like a web net if they were falling off of a building or something like this. But Black Suit Spider-Man looks like a completely different beast. He's slamming people into cars. He's freaking going ham on people. So I don't think that they're really PGing this thing right now. They're letting Peter go full symbiote Spider-Man, which I'm excited for. So we got to see our first look at the symbiote suit. I like it. I wish it was a little bit different. I kind of like that we get to see like the symbiote, kind of by itself mixed with like a hard shell casing of the symbiote as well. It's kind of an interesting take. I wish that they would have done something a little bit more original. It's hard to balance keeping things, the classic, how it's always been, and trying to make your own thing. But I think they did something really special with their original Spider-Man suit, and I was kind of hoping for something a little bit more original with the symbiote suit. But nonetheless, this still looks like a great costume, and I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of other symbiote costumes that you can turn into anyway, so it's not a huge deal, but it looks great. With that being said, we also got our first look at a couple of the villains. We got our first look at Kraven the Hunter, who looks like Kraven the Hunter. He doesn't have a crazy outfit really. He just, is decked out in wilderness gear and animal skin and stuff like that. But what I thought was really cool is getting to see the Lizard. I didn't even know the Lizard was going to be in this game until this trailer, so that was really cool getting to see the Lizard, because he's someone that I think is a very underrated villain when it comes to Spider-Man. I'm glad that he got some light in the Amazing Spider-Man 1. Unfortunately, they kind of didn't go with the best design with that. And I've seen some controversy with this Lizard design as well. Hopefully he does get the lab coat. I know a lot of people are just like, give him the freaking lab coat. And I agree. I think it would look better with the lab coat. But I think the scene that they showed with the Lizard, with it being like in the water and everything, maybe the lab coat would have fallen off. I'm just being skeptical. I don't think that they're going to put him in the lab coat, because I think that they would have shown that if they were going to. But either way, he still looks like a beast. Like, he looks like Arkham Knight Killer Croc level monstrous right there. It is an epic design for the Lizard in this game. Another thing that we got to see in the game was kind of how you're going to work as Peter and Miles in the game, which I think is really cool. You get to switch in between them. I wonder if you can switch in between them at any point, or the game kind of makes you choose on whether or not you're going to be Miles or Peter. Maybe during certain missions you're forced as a certain character, and then maybe once you're out doing your own thing you can switch in between them. That would be really cool. And that's something that I wish, the Arkham games had with Nightwing and Robin. I wish when you were doing the free roam gameplay you could just switch to those different characters. So I think Spider-Man's doing something really, really cool here in that department. Unfortunately, they are kind of similar, but I think, if they do differentiate how they swing, how they fight a little bit more, it'll be a lot more interesting. That way you can tell the difference between Peter and Miles, and that way it's not just, okay, well, you basically just switched costumes. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, because if you're going between Spider-Man and Spider-Man, you're both Spider-Man. So hopefully they let their, but Miles has like lightning and invisibility and stuff like that. So I have faith in Insomniac that they'll make them distinct enough so that way you can tell who you're playing as very distinctly, and especially with the symbiote suit too. That's gonna really make Peter kind of very different than how Miles is gonna play in the game as well. But we also got to see a couple different ways of traversing the world, some things that the fans have been begging for, which I am super, super glad that they added gliding. Gliding is something that is going to completely just make the game feel like you are just zooming through the city. And they even showed Miles going through hoops of air in the city. I think that they were way too distinct. They should have been a little bit more faint, but I'm nitpicking, but it's because I love the game so much. That's why I'm nitpicking. But you get to go through these hoops, and that gives you a little bit more glide time, because I get that they're trying not to make it just be okay, well, you're flying, you know what I mean, because Spider-Man can't fly, but he has this gliding ability. But I think it looks really, really smooth, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this game and feel the swinging in this game. It's gonna feel amazing. And if they add a VR version for this game, or a VR setting, because it's a PlayStation game. PlayStation has their own VR system. It's just a no-brainer, and I think people would just die for that. It would be so cool. Another small detail in the swinging mechanics, they added the slingshot from the old PS3 game that everyone has been begging for, because it just looks so cool. With I think it was Miles that was doing it. He hits the two webs on the side, brings them together, and just launches himself into the city. And I think that that's a really cool way to kind of boost yourself into the city. And the city is going to be huge in this map. I heard that they're making the city super massive in this map, so I'm super excited for that. That just means, more stuff for us to do on the side, more stuff to just take a breath and just live in the city that they built in this game. That is just so beautiful. The setting is always just so good in this game. I cannot wait to see, if they did this would be really, really cool. With the lizard being in this game, how cool would it be if they added a sewer system in Spider-Man 2, and then you can traverse the sewers too, which would kind of feel claustrophobic, because you're normally allowed to swing away from stuff, and you're allowed to just kind of escape from any type of fight that you want. But with the lizard and stuff, they could really add a nice horror mechanic and make it be no, you can't swing away, you can't just escape, you're in the sewers with this monster, and you don't have the ability to just take a breath for a second. It's gonna make the player's heart race if they do something like that. Maybe I should make I might make a separate video on just that, because I think there's a lot of potential for Insomniac right there. Lastly, I think it would be really, really cool if we got to see Miles fight Peter a little bit in this game. They don't have to go full evil symbiote Spider-Man, but maybe he takes it a little bit too far as Spider-Man, and then Miles Spider-Man has to kind of take him down, and you get to fight, yourself in a way. How would, you think it's so easy fighting these other villains, but how does it feel to go up against, an enemy with your move set. It would be super super cool if they did something like that. And I can definitely see that happening in this game. So, a couple things that they left out of this trailer. We didn't get to see Green Goblin. We didn't get to see, Venom, just as himself. So, we saw him in the trailer, in the first trailer though. But nonetheless, I'm super excited that the marketing for this game has finally kicked off. It's gonna be a heck of a ride. Just getting hyped for this game. With everything they did in the first one, I have no doubt that Insomniac can nail this game as well. Everything from the mechanics to the graphics to the story was just perfect in the first one, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this one. So I want to know what you guys think about the new gameplay trailer. Let me know down in the comments below. And I love talking to you guys. I try to reply to most comments that you guys leave. Being a smaller YouTuber, I want to make sure that we build a good community around this channel, especially now that I'm trying to stay more consistent with videos and trying to put out actual good content for once. But with that being said, if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to subscribe, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. No pressure though. Like the video, if you like the content, give the video a like. Just shows some support on the channel. But other than that, I cannot wait to talk about this game a little bit more. And I'll see you guys in the next video.